What's up, YouTube? Episode 90. We have 10 episodes left before these ladies are planning a get-together. They have it already all planned. They haven't told us anything about it, but it's going to be great. So, is it a live podcast? Or is it just a party?
I want to do a live podcast, but it's not really a podcast.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you can, if it would.
Is it going to be recorded, or is it just going to be? Okay.
We can record it.
They're going to let us know, these two ladies. We celebrated 10,000 downloads by sending out a text to each other that just said, great job. So thank you guys for downloading the podcast, listening, watching on YouTube. Today is going to be a little bit different day. We're going to talk about some of the things that we have going on for Made4More, episode 90. So thanks for watching. Yeah. That's,
I need some more caffeine this morning.
I have some new Discipline Go.
Good gracious.
If you want one.
Don't start.
You need to try that pink mist. It's pretty legit. All right. Ready. And 3. God, I'm not even ready. Okay.
Figure your life out.
Here we go. What's wrong with us?
What's wrong with you?
I've been up for a long time. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Made4More Consulting Podcast. Episode 90. We are a podcast that help deliver... Hang on. Re-record. Episode 90. Here we go. Dang it. Okay. 3. What's up, everybody? Mario here for the Made4More Consulting Podcast. Welcome to episode 90. This is a podcast where we help develop individuals so that we can use those leadership skills, those personal development skills to help others as we lead them. Because what we say is, what you don't have, you can't pass along. So, episode 90. Adina, welcome back.
Glad to be here. 90 episodes.
Yeah.
90.
Yeah, we have 10 more.
Yeah.
So we'll be up to 100 before the end of the year, because you and I counted the weeks left.
Yep.
So there's like 16 weeks left of the year. Or, yeah, 16 or 14, something like that. Something like that, maybe. 100 episodes. Jocko's up to like 400.
5,027.
And he does multiple podcasts. He does like 6 podcasts. Isn't that crazy?
His podcasts are so long, I don't know how he does anything else with his time.
That's all he does.
That's all he does.
And writes books.
He just sits in a room
How do
and
you
talks
write the book?
all day.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why he wakes up at 4:30.
I know,
That's
but
true.
still, I mean, I have a lot to say, but that's a lot of words.
Yeah, he charges for some of them, and only like $8 for his membership because of all the people.
Is
that
it
follow.
$8 a month? Or like a one-time
a month.
fee?
But it's called
Yeah.
Jocko Underground because he says if they ban him from any platform, he's going to own the rights to his own producing.
Yeah.
Which is smart.
Yeah. Does Instagram offer like a paid subscription now for certain like influencers? I've seen
I think
it.
so.
I
because
think
it says. Like,
I've
you're
seen
following
a
somebody.
couple of couple people that I follow are offering like for $4.99 a month. You'll get like exclusive content, and I was like, huh, interesting.
I'm start doing that.
We have exclusive content before this video started. If you
Stop
want
on
to,
YouTube.
Put that out
if you want
there.
to hear Etiana and see Adina flip the camera off and say bad things. Just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Anyways, guys, welcome to episode 90. Etiana's back, Adina's back. We were with Jay last week in Midland, and he has some exciting things coming out with Epic Warrior, and I know that's going to be one of the first like partnerships and a nonprofit that we're going to partner with. I know we have promoted Charlotte Ranch, Be the Light, and now Epic Warrior. So we're going to continue to help him. But episode 90, here we go.
Well, this episode's going to look a little different.
It is.
I'm kind of excited about it.
I'm not going to say we. I find it very difficult to talk about like myself.
I know. I
and
kind
some
of
of
want
the
to
work
just
that
give
we
me
do.
that paper and let me just talk about you.
If I gave it to you, I don't know if you'd understand. That's the top section. No, but we're gonna talk about. We're really going from helping our organization. So right now we meet with 2 big clients. I think we can say who they are.
Okay.
Slide.
I feel like I need to say this. So when Made4More first launched, your intention started with helping one-on-one individuals.
That's correct.
I mean, it just did. Like that was your passion. Was you could see the potential in people. and you really wanted to create a program, to create something to help people who maybe were doubting themselves or didn't see what you could see in them, kind of take their life to the next level.
Yeah.
And so that's how this whole thing started.
Yeah, I did it with 5 college students.
Yeah, and then kind of along the way, what happened was you got involved with some businesses.
No,
And I mean, it was like, I won't say you stumbled into it, but I even think, like, I can think about when you started with the owners of Slab, that started with a personal relationship. You started off personal, and he was like, oh, wait a minute, you come into my business. And because I see the value in this. And so then you kind of got involved in businesses. And so I think what we're doing today is we are going to take it back to the individual, because we realize that is one of your big passions.
Yeah.
And so today we're going to talk about just the idea of what Made4More can look like for you as an individual in our one-on-one programs that we have.
Yeah, that's right. And I will just tell you right off the bat, Adina's talking about that, and the one-on-one program will start October 9th.
Yes.
I can't even talk about it.
Yes, I know. So I think this time what we're looking at is packaging it together. I'm going to give you guys like a summary. Kind of package it together and putting it together in like a session. What
it's a 10-week session.
Yeah, it's a 10. We just had 10 weeks. It's 10 weeks. It's a 10-week session.
Yeah.
And so we're going to kind of talk about some of the pillars, some of the big things that we go over in that 10 weeks and what that's going to look like. Because I truly believe that if you do this right now, if you will sign up for this and be a part of this, your next year, when you are launching 2023, it's going to look completely different. If you are one of those people who at the beginning of every year, you were like, I need to set a goal. I need to have some,
you need to let her talk about this all the time.
I am.
I can't.
But seriously, like if you're like that person who is going to write those like resolutions or goals, or that you want to be different. The idea for this is let's launch into the next year better. Let's spend the end of this year getting these basics down, these pillars down. So at the beginning of the year, you will launch in a completely different way than you've ever launched before.
Different attitude, a different mindset. And like you said, it's what we do for Slab and ProWired on a big company level, and we're breaking it down for each individual person.
Yes.
But it's what we practice.
For
those
sure.
Pillars.
For sure.
Do you want to go over these pillars?
No, why don't you go over the pillars and then I will backfill.
Yeah, so one of the things I want people to understand is that as you're working on who you are, it's going to, all these developments build on it's like, again, these pillars, they're going to build on top of one another. The first one's going to be your why. So number one of the first things we're going to discuss is that's where your goals live, is like, who do you want to be and what's your why?
Yeah, so and the thing I think about this is, if you are someone who has a lot of doubt in yourself, maybe you don't have a vision for your life, maybe it's just that you feel, I don't want to say like lost, but you just kind of feel like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of living the day to day. Finding your why will completely change that. I mean, all of these things will. But I think that sometimes it's so easy to sit and to listen to this podcast or listen to any podcast or books or read. And it's hard to then say, like, how do I know if I really need this? How do I know if this is for me?
Yeah.
And so I think that is, if you don't know your why, if you don't feel like you are living the life that you're called to live,
there you go.
Like, this is step one.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Again, if you want to go back to what we do for organizations, the Slab, that's it. They keep it 100, but they want to make sure they're dialed in. So even, I would say, if you don't know what you're doing, you feel lost. But I would also even say, Dina, if you're successful, but you're not too sure, like where am I going? Like, where's this going to go? It's
no
like your values. Where's this going to end? Where's this map leading me? And if you don't know that, number one, us helping develop a goal of who you are, your why, that's foundational, because when you get that, everything that you do after that points back to that.
For sure.
So I want people to understand too that there are people out there who are successful that have never spent time on who they are or why they do what they do.
Yeah.
And in the end,
I think the next one we're going to talk about, I think, is going to be huge, because I think that sometimes successful people, they may have kind of an understanding about why, but it's usually the discipline.
Yeah.
and the consistency that gets them.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. So, is that number 2?
I don't know. I think so. I'm just trying to
Number
read your
2?
paper from
No.
here.
So, you skipped one, but that's huge.
Okay.
So number 1 is finding out who your why
Yes,
and who you
have
are.
to know
That's
your
pillar
why.
number 1. Number 2 is ownership over accountability.
Yep, perfect.
And so I know some people are going to go, so you're going to keep me accountable.
Nope.
No. I'm going to...
Have you listened to any of these podcasts?
Yes, exactly. And so what I want people to understand is that our team included, but the other clients and the one-on-ones I want to teach is you have to learn ownership because, again, I have a nutrition coach, but she's not coming over here and making my meals. She's not following me to Mighty Fine. She's not following me to Slab. She's not following me to McDonald's. She's just going, here's the program.
Here's the information.
And she's asked me, how can I help you? How can I keep you accountable? There's little things that I've told her, you can help me with this, but in the end, it's ownership. And so pillar number 2 is vital because everything that you do, it's the question of what do you have control over? You may not have control over your boss, you may not have control over your environment, but somewhere in there you have ownership over how you can respond in your attitude, how you can respond to people. So number 2, we want to teach people ownership over accountability, meaning, okay, don't wait for somebody else to do it. You do something about it and you dictate how you're going to respond. It's not easy because ownership, again, to me, when I first heard extreme ownership, I was going, where's this been all my life? And why did I miss this? And it is putting your ego down and going, I'm no longer the victim. I'm no longer the victim. And day to day, you have to practice that. So you have your goals, but number 2, you're having to go, if I'm going to practice ownership, I'm going to be the one that has to take full responsibility of reaching those goals.
Well, and it's so easy to make excuses or to blame someone else, or even like, well, I didn't go exercise today because it was raining. Okay, that's not ownership. I mean,
Go to the garage.
Yeah. Well, and I think that is like a habit or a rut or
Yes.
like it's what people get in, and it's so easy. And I don't even think people realize they are doing it. Because I know every now and then I will say something and I'm like, oh wait, nope, backspace, I need to reword that email because I need to take full ownership over it, even if it wasn't something I could control.
Yeah, you're right. And I think some of the conversations I had with Etiana this week, and I mean, it's just being authentic and real for us, is not all the time, just because we have a podcast and we're this leadership team, not everything goes our way. And yes, we're going to have bad days where we go, that just sucked. Well, in the end, you can go, they did me wrong or they did this to me. But in the end, if you can just sit for a second and go, okay, how can I take ownership of this situation? I can't change what they did.
Right. I'm going to detach and I'm going to take ownership.
Yes. And so those are some of the things we're going to learn. And it is learned. And I'm not trying to talk down to someone, but like you said, if it's raining outside, it was learned for me to go, well, then I guess, because most of the time I'd say, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it when it stops raining. Yeah. Well, then you're going to go out there and go, oh, it's muddy and I can't run in the street. Well, here's what I'm going to say is you have to look for those other options to go, can I work out upstairs? Can I work out in the garage?
What else can I do?
What else can you do? Can you move the couches and do something on the floor to go, hey, I'm going to... So you have to find a way to take ownership.
Yes.
So pillar number 1, goals, finding out your why. Number 2 is ownership over accountability. And number 3 is what you talked about. And this is where I think most people are going to make the big leap from seeing results, which is the consistency every day.
And this is where I feel like if you are somebody in your life that maybe you have a hard time following through with things, you start things and you don't finish them. Maybe you tend to forget about things. I feel like that's a sign that you need some discipline and consistency, and that's when we did a whole podcast on habit stacking, but that's where all of that kind of comes into play, is learning how to be consistent and how to improve your odds at being consistent in some of those things, because all of that compounds and changes the way that you overall interact with life.
Yeah, you're right. And like you're saying, everything's compounding. So if you have your goals and your why, and then you have your ownership and you say, I'm going to take full responsibility, and you go, I'm going to consistently do these things every day to build these other 2 things, day after day after day after day after day, you begin to go, oh, it is making a difference. You may not see it right away, but the other people will, and consistency leads to change, and then change leads to results, and the results lead to, again, progress. And you go, how did I do that? Well, it goes back to consistency. You can't, what we said before is there's no shortcut. There is no shortcut to where you want to be. And if you think there is, Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, there
Well,
really is.
Yes, I also think about people that procrastinate.
Mhm.
Like that is, I'm trying to think about on the other side. Like these are the things that happen if you don't have these things.
Mhm.
These are the negative
Yeah,
things that happen in your life if you don't have the ownership, the discipline, the consistency, the
Yeah.
knowing your why.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think
I see what you're saying.
procrastination is kind of one that, because
Mirrors
that, yeah,
or
I
is
mean,
opposite.
because you may get it done,
Mhm.
but when you procrastinate, that causes a whole other host of problems instead of being disciplined and consistent.
Yep. No, you're right. So, knowing your whys, number one. Number two, ownership over accountability. Number three, consistency in everything that we're doing. And then, the fourth pillar, I think, is something that you just mentioned. It's establishing habits. And I'm not talking about bad habits, but if you and I don't establish habits, life-changing things, it's also a way to say creating a plan. So, what are some of the things you do in the morning when you wake up that are habits?
Well, I think besides drinking my coffee,
Mhm.
I think for me, the biggest one is I have to look at my calendar every single morning. I have to plan for my day.
Mhm.
I mean, like, I do it almost right away. And I've even gotten where my habit is if I don't look at my physical computer, I have it all on my Alexa where I can just ask Alexa, what do I have on my calendar for the day? That has changed. Me doing it at 6 a.m. instead of 9 a.m. when I walk into the office has completely changed how I view my day.
Yeah.
And so I think that is just a small one that it's not even that like big of a deal.
No, but it helps.
But it has made the biggest difference in how I approach things. And just like I'm already getting mentally like checked in when I'm on the way into the office. I'm already thinking through things that need to happen
Mhm.
within those different meetings or interactions or whatever. I think this is where people who exercise in the morning, like this is one of those times where that becomes like a real habit
Mhm.
where it's almost like you don't even you're starting to do it like subconsciously.
Yeah, so if you have a habit and you start to consistently do it, you take ownership of it, then you're going to reach your goals. So you see how the pillars are just stacking on one another, but they also bring results. Etiana, what's some of the first things you do in the morning as far as planning and creating good habits?
Yeah, I always look at my planner first thing.
I feel like that
I
is
have
a
a big
must.
calendar and I like check like what's going on this week.
Yeah, and Etiana's a big on whiteboards. Like she likes to, even if she has to erase it every month, she's gonna create a new one.
Yeah.
So you look at your plan for the day.
I look
You
or
look
listen.
at your calendar.
Yep.
Same thing for me. I look at my 30-69. It's the first thing we do. But even if you go back to going, man, how can I plan better? And I don't know what my boss is gonna do. You still have your own calendar. Again, what we're saying is you're taking ownership. You're creating consistent effort. I don't have an Alexa that I'm not as bougie as Adina, so I just have my daughter.
It's super easy.
I just have my daughter read my calendar out loud.
Well,
and
there
say,
you
"Anna,
go.
what is on my plan today?"
What's on
And
my
so
calendar
daughter
today?
starts reading.
Exactly.
You have like it's your
Good
personal
morning,
assistant.
Yeah. No, but you're right. I mean, it's those. What I think people don't understand is it's the small
Smallest things.
habits that you go.
The smallest things.
We just again, one of my smallest ones is I do not like more than 12 emails in my inbox. Why? When I see over 1,000, I'm going, how do you know all those things? So every day that one comes in, every hour, I at least look at my emails and I'll just hit delete. Sometimes it's Vitamin Shop, Origin Main, Jocko, and I'm like, okay, those are cool. Read through it, delete it. What it's teaching my mind to do is, hey, do something and get rid of it. But I have all my to-do list. Check your 30-69 in your calendar, and then clean out your inbox and your text messages. Do you need to respond to anybody?
That was another thing I was gonna say is that something else I have added probably in the last like 6 months is putting things in my calendar like that. So when I ask Alexa what's on my calendar today, it has some of my daily tasks, but that was just my own way of reminding myself and building that in. Even if it is at 10 a.m., I have a planning. Well, that planning is just for me to then go back through because I do, so whatever.
Yeah.
But putting those things in has also been huge.
Yep. But you're saying it again. It's the smallest little
It
things
is.
that
I
you
feel
practice.
like it doesn't even sound like it's that big of a deal, but it makes a world of difference.
Yep. And anyone that I think, and I'm not making fun of this, but I'm just saying anybody who I would think struggles with anxiety and loss of control, or is trying to work on releasing control and needing the control of everything, those little things help you because you begin to go, I've checked here, I've checked here, I've checked here. Those are things I have control over. Cool. I can just go throughout my day and start working on the next thing. So yeah, and you mentioned it again, you know, these things continue to build on one another. The pillars go up and then each one of them stack on one another. So
well, and I think what you just said about like if you're someone with anxiety, I think that like if you have if you're just somebody who tends to get stressed, like you carry around a lot of stress, that is kind of a sign that that having something like this, like building in those habits, that consistency, that will help significantly. Because just what you said, once you start to trust your system and you see your system is working for you, you let go of some of that stress.
yeah, do systems remove some of the stress you carry?
Yeah, that's why I created them.
That's what I was trying to think to go.
Yeah.
I wonder
That's
how
what
many
made me
people are
think about it.
system-oriented people that are listening right here. They go, hey, system people just.
But
one, they get so much, not adrenaline, but you know that they get so much good vibes from, man, look at this system, it's great. And then when they look at it, it releases the negativity and not depression. What do you call it? Stress.
right.
But then they get so much energy from seeing one, like actually going, oh, there's my system.
But I think so many people out there are not like Etiana, and they can't naturally just create a system.
But she
Like-
took ownership
Right.
of what she could do
Yes,
to help
and
herself.
yes, and so that's where I'm like, you have to start somewhere. So you can have this stress, and you can be carrying it around, and you're like, you don't want your life to be like that. You want it to be different, but you can't go from being a hot mess to like standing back at your 14 color coded, you know, dry
Yes,
erase board.
yes.
That just doesn't happen
No,
overnight.
it doesn't.
You know, that's one of those things that you have to build into. And so no matter where you are on that spectrum, you have to start somewhere. And I guarantee Etiana has started. She took steps 100%. And she probably started in elementary school. You know, she's probably always had some of that.
Yeah.
And then as she's taken on more responsibility, her systems have gotten bigger.
And if you use, I don't know why we always use Etiana as an example, but when you think about her, if she found out who she was, which is pillar number one, she had to take ownership of what she could control in every situation and environment. And then she realized that she needed to be consistent. And then she goes, you know what? Here's the habits that I need to create.
Well, and Etiana does not like she's a 6 on the Enneagram, and so.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
But so she sees a lot of potential of things that could go wrong, and then that creates like some anxiety and stress in her.
Okay.
So, but then
No, I'm saying that's cool.
but
That's
all
good.
of this goes to the fact that she's like, I'm going to create these systems because I don't want to carry around that negative stress. You know, I want to be sure that I've covered all of my bases, so I don't have to carry that around. And that's what she's doing.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes from knowing who she is and where this comes from.
That's really good. You know why I laugh is because Kevin Hart, I don't know if he's a 6 or whatever, but he said he's not a fighter. He's like a planner because he says I can see things develop. So if he's gonna see somebody get jumped, he goes, oh, no, I don't want a part of this. So he takes off running and he'll catch up with it later. Because like you said, he goes, if you just got hit, you just got hit. He goes, I'm not taking up for you. So, anyways,
I'm Kevin Hart.
Maybe thought of, but again, it's these pillars and habits are very, very, very important to the 6 pillars because those are things that you're actually going to work on daily that are going to help build the ownership, the consistency, and reaching your goals.
Yeah.
So that was number what, Adina?
I don't know. I can't see your page.
3, 4. Now we're going for number 5. This is the one. These last 2 are going to be more. This is a product of what happens when you practice the first 4 pillars. So number 5 for me is confidence.
Yes.
And when I say confidence is, I think a lot of us. I mean, I don't know what Adina struggles with as far as having confidence in making a decision or doing this. There's a few things that you and I have talked about that I go,
I will make a damn decision.
yes, I know. But when there's things that I tell you, you should write this and teach this, you go, I don't know if I should teach it. I'm like, no, you should teach that.
Right. I just feel like everybody knows what I know.
No, but that's false.
Yeah.
And then I keep thinking through again, confidence. Most people go, everybody already knows this. Or, hey, no one would listen to me.
Well,
Hey,
yeah,
I don't
yes.
have anything to offer. We have to get past that. And when you work on those first 4 things, you begin to believe in yourself and you begin to, with confidence comes creating good choices
Yes.
and creating good decisions.
So this is, I don't know if this kind of fits in, but this is what I was thinking about. is that if you're somebody, I keep going back to like, if you are somebody who, but if you're like, this is where, if you're like, if you think, I don't know if what I'm doing in life is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like if you can go through all of these, if you're ready to change jobs, have a new career,
You're right.
you were saying earlier, like, if you could be successful, but let's say you're successful, but you want to, like, up your game. You want to make more money next year,
Mhm.
whatever your practice, like, that's where all of this, I think confidence comes into all of that.
Yeah, you're gonna walk through those steps.
You're going to walk through the
number 5
steps,
and go,
right.
I gotta jump now.
But I was thinking about how many times I sit with people who are talking about wanting to leave the job that they're in because they feel like they want to do something different or whatever reason. And
Did
that's
you tell
what,
them about Made4More?
well,
I'm just
yes.
kidding. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
I was about to say, go ahead.
But no,
Sorry.
but I think that's where, I don't know if I even connected how all 4 of these leads to, because what I see is you don't have the confidence.
Yeah.
Like there's something in you that you really want it, but there's a lot of fear. You
Yeah.
don't have that confidence.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm like, you're right. All of these they're going to build into this, but you may not see. You may just see like, I don't have the confidence. Like there is something in that. This is for you.
Yeah. And I think if you're going through this program and you're not having to make a big decision, the confidence is going, look at the results that I've gotten. Look at how far I've grown so far to be where I'm at right now because I've gotten these results. And so that confidence may just be building yourself and your leadership within to go look at the maybe the mom or the dad I need to be, maybe the sibling or the coach or the leader I need to be. So it's not just about making that decision and being confident, but it's also, if you go to the opposite side, like you were earlier, is the opposite of confidence is fear.
Mm-hmm.
The opposite of confidence is going to be, I don't know if I should pursue this
Doubt.
or it's doubt. So where are those doubts coming from and how can we build confidence in that? Well, you have to take ownership of what you have doubts over and go. And I'm just telling you guys both know this, and my wife, is I'm practicing these daily and weekly because the other thing I'll mention in number 5, Adina, with confidence is not everything comes easy. There's not a shortcut. But a lot of it relies on you making the decision. And when I say confidence, that decision is in there. And not all the time do I make the decision quickly because you guys are always telling me, when are you going to do this? When are we going to do this? We're supposed to have workshops already. And I'm just trying to take small steps when everybody around me is going, dude, you have what it takes. Let's just go. There's something within me that goes, I don't have what it takes. But I'm having to practice these steps. And when I practice them, the confidence is there to go, I just got to move.
Well, and I think that the beautiful thing about these pillars, these steps, is that they work for every part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it may say that you want to start exercising more. You want to eat better, exercise more. You know, you can take all of these principles just in like with your health, and you can take all those steps.
Yep.
You know, and even just doing it in one area, it will trickle over into the other areas.
Yeah. I'm just you say that, and what's funny is both of you know, because you worked with me, Adina would always pick on me because she'd say if I was in a bad mood, hey, have you eaten something? And then I would also go as far as I would eat more than anybody in the offices and continue to eat all day. And so I'd always say, hey, I work out to eat the way I want, but I'm 40 now and it caught up. So we have a nutrition coach, me and my wife.
Right, because
And I'm
that's
just
kind of
telling
like an
you.
excuse.
Yes, it is. And so I'm telling you, when I set my goal of I want a nutrition coach and I want to eat better, she made me take ownership, plan my goals, and then discipline and consistency. I'm telling you, I've never been this consistent with tracking my macros and what I eat, eating 3 times a day, having good snacks. And I realized through all this, what I've learned about myself and confidence is I can have good snacks, I can eat right, I can go shopping for the right things, and I don't have to go out to eat. So you see, what you're saying is what I'm doing within the health realm. And like Adina said, it can go across the health, it can go around fitness, it can go across leadership, leading a team. But in the end, the confidence that I have today now is I can create a better yogurt parfait than Chick-fil-A with the right food in it. But I also know how to track what I'm supposed to eat and how much energy my body's using in a day because of how much I work out and eat. So she's taught me a lot, but in the end, she's not here to help me.
It's just what you said.
Yes.
You know, you have to do it. She could tell you what to do, but it's your job to actually follow through with it.
So yeah, that's pillar number 5 is creating confidence. And the last one for me I think it happens without you knowing. But number 6, I'm sorry, is probably the biggest thing, and that's where like the motivate, inspire, and encourage come from, is influence. Number 6 is influence. That when you start creating changes in your life and you begin to make moves, it's not about talking and saying you're doing this. It's not about talking yourself up and saying, hey, I got a coach, or I have this plan, and I'm doing all this. No, it's just going, look at what's working for me by my actions and what's happening in the results, and people are going to go, hey, what are you doing different?
And
Or
totally,
see something
people,
different
whenever you start doing something different, if it is, whether it's at work or at home or with your health, people will naturally want to know, like, what are you doing that's working?
Yep.
And your influence comes. And I think also it's just something inside of you changes when you are being consistent and you're building those positive habits. Because we talked about kind of like the stress, like you let go of some stress, like your systems start to kind of work for you. You do gain a little bit of confidence. You're not you're following through with more things. People see that you're not procrastinating, kind of all of those things. They see a difference in you. And I think people have an internal drive to want to be better. I see that so many times. So they want to. That's how your influence comes across.
Yeah, that last pillar is where you're going to hear people say things like, hey, you've inspired me to do this, or you've helped me get here and you didn't know. But let's look at the opposite side of that, because I want people to be careful, because when you and I and Etiana and my wife and our Made4More community are successful, there's still some critics on the other side that are going to go, well, I've tried that and I don't care. And little by little, they may be trying to tear you down because their ego is in the way of seeing that I don't want to give you props for what you're doing. I want to tear you down. It's that whole mentality of the lobsters. When you put them in the bucket, they're not going to let one get to the top. And they're going to continue to pull it down because the lobsters are crabs. But I don't remember the freaking story.
Whatever.
Yeah, but it's not. They're not going to let them leave the bucket because they don't want them to leave. They don't want them to rise above. So you have to remember, with freaking success comes those critics are going to go, you're not that good.
But not in the Made4More community.
No, and I'm all about helping those people that are in the negative, but they got to be willing to start again at one. Is who do you want to be, and you got to take ownership. Then you got to practice that consistency, and from there. So yeah, I think influence is where you're going to inspire people that you don't even know.
For sure.
Because these 6 things are what I practice with this podcast, and now I got to practice with this coaching, and I got to consistently practice it with the people that I help every day.
Yes. So, like I said earlier, I think it's one of those things that if you will take the time at the end, like finish this year really well, I think next year, kind of deciding what kind of 2023 you want to have, it will look different. I mean, I think it's I think about how many times in general we hate the word resolutions,
Yeah.
We've talked, did we do a whole podcast on that? I feel like we did one of the very first podcasts
I think we talked about not having resolutions, but having something else.
Yes, and so, yeah, well, and I just think it's one of those things that how many times by like February have you already forgot what you decided, what you wrote down,
Yeah.
And people are like, I just have a word for the year, which is fabulous. I actually like the word for the year.
Yeah.
If it's something that you build these 6 things around that you can consistently go back to.
That's good.
Because again, by February, you have done nothing.
Did you know a word for the year?
No.
Did you?
No, I don't think so. Not this year.
Because some people do. I mean, I've
done it before.
Yeah.
Yes, I've totally done it before. Just this year, I don't even remember January of 2022.
Yeah, I was
Good
wondering
gracious.
if any of y'all had resolutions, and we're here in September, if they're still
Here
going.
we are.
Yeah.
Survive.
To survive. Yeah, there you go. Etiana's surviving.
Hey, actually, my goal was to start dating. I wanted to be a more open and vulnerable person.
She wanted to start dating and being vulnerable. How's that working?
It's going on. I mean, I don't have like a boyfriend, but I feel like I'm practicing letting others in.
Yeah.
I think that's
9 months in, you're still, you're consistently doing that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. That's a vulnerable one to be, to say. So I don't remember what I said I wanted to do in January.
Go back, we have it on the podcast. Because I remember saying that, I was like, I'm going to be dating again. You're like, I don't know,
conference, all this
I'll
crap.
have to go
I
back
haven't
and listen
done
on the I don't
anything.
remember what I said.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. The 6 pillars.
I
Again.
have a feeling I talked about working out though. and look at me right now.
How many weeks?
Hello.
Good job.
Hello.
So the 6 pillars of Made for More, and what we offer is, again, setting goals and finding out who you are. Number 2 is taking ownership. Number 3 is practicing those disciplines with consistency. Number 4 is creating a plan, which is establishing good habits. Number 5 is learning how to use your confidence in making decisions and choices. And number 6 is allowing your influence to change others and inspire others. So those are the 6 things that we practice daily with Slab, ProWired, anyone that we come into contact with that I practice. I know you guys do as well. But now we're taking all that stuff that we offer clients and offering it to one-on-one coaching.
10-week session.
And it starts on October 9th.
Yes.
And we're only taking, there's limited spots.
There are limited spots. One of the things I think is really important is that, I want to explain just a little bit in that for your one-on-one coaching. Once a week we'll have a group call or like a group Zoom.
Zoom or a call. Oh,
yeah.
Google
Meet.
Have you ever used Google Meet?
Yes, and I love it. It is way better than Zoom. Side
There's
note.
hey, don't. Remember, we talked about the Zoom guy.
The guy,
he was 17 years old.
He's so good. No, Zoom is fabulous.
Yeah.
But I have been impressed because I use Google Calendar and it's just one click. I don't have to go and create something separate.
And so we use
That's
Google.
Whatever.
What is it called?
Google Meet. Listen,
it's free.
We don't have to
there's no
establish
time
what
limit.
we're going to use right now.
Yeah, right?
But
Bless you. Is that a sneeze or a cough?
we will do a Zoom-like call.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to
Okay, I
carry
know,
this
but
podcast
I'm
to
coughing.
people.
Okay.
We'll once a week. It will be a group call,
Yep.
and then also once a week you will have an individual
A
call,
one-on-one, yeah.
a one-on-one.
So those are 5 limited spots, though.
5. Okay,
I mean, for now.
maybe 6.
Yeah, and if we have an overwhelming response of people that would like to do a whole, I mean, if we get 15 or 20, we'll decide. It's just that we want to start with 5 to see how that's going to work. So
we want to give people the most the attention that they deserve.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's one of those things too that sometimes whenever you were in this place, you talked about like confidence, and I'm going to talk about like kind of like your value. It's hard for people to put like like the idea of spending money on themselves can be really hard for a lot of people. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's hard to just be like, I'm going to buy a new pair of tennis shoes, because you feel like there's so many other things, that should come first. But one of the things I passionately believe in is probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, besides books, I mean, because I think I've always been willing to pay for books, but realizing that I am my own best investment, and that it is one of those things that if you invest in yourself, it's like taking these principles. If you will invest in yourself, everything in life, it just works better. Yeah. And I can even say, like, even the idea, especially if you are someone who has like a little bit of entrepreneurship in you, and you need like the discipline, the consistency to maybe start that side business that you have, whatever it is. The money that you invest in yourself always comes back to you, either back to you financially or in another way. Yep. 100%. Your
profit.
Yeah, it just does. And I think that the most successful businesses see that because they know, I mean, I think of all the businesses, like high-end, corporations, they bring in consultants all the time because they know that putting money back into their business is going to grow their business. Yeah. It's the same thing with the same thing individuals. If you invest in yourself, you are going to grow and things are going to change for you.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better. That's good. So we're going to launch this coaching October 9th.
Yes.
Group call.
When does registration start? If they're interested in registering.
Well, this is coming out Sunday. So and I know some people are going to listen to this
today,
later.
When they hear this today on Sunday, they can start registering today. Is what I'm hearing you say.
I think tomorrow morning.
Monday morning.
Mm-hmm. Because
26th.
So Monday,
26th,
September 26th.
It gives us 2 weeks to figure out how many spots that we have. As far as we have 5, but I'm saying if we can take on more, let's say.
Yes.
As 1 million people said they wanted to be coached.
And
we gotta figure that out.
We'll figure it out. Because that's what we do. We make things happen.
Yes.
And everything that you need to register or to sign up will be in the show notes. And then also, I know Etiana will have it somewhere on the website or in our socials because she's fabulous
and,
like
and
that.
you know, we're gonna create a a little clip of this, and it's also gonna be promoted. So people that are listening to this podcast, that subscribe and get the notification that, hey, there's a new podcast out, you're gonna be the first ones to hear this. So
Hey,
take
and
advantage of
I'm
it.
just gonna say this right now. We have not talked about this, but if you complete the 10-week session, we will have a special something for you. I will have Etiana design a T-shirt, a hat, a hoodie. You will get something special.
It'll be a special.
Yeah, because I feel like it's like our inaugural class, you know.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah, see.
Wait.
Etiana just got excited with me.
You realize that at the end of 10 weeks of doing that is about our
100th
episode.
Yeah.
So all this may have to come
It'll
together.
all come together. They could be a guest on our live podcast.
Yeah. It'll be
Yes.
a 7-hour podcast.
Oh
And
my
it'll be-
god.
No, you're right. I think that we can give
I
them
think we
again.
have to do something
Yeah.
at the end.
And so I just want people to understand that it all starts with us seeing the value in us seeing the value in you, and you being willing to invest in yourself, so that you have more to offer the people around you. Whether again, as a spouse, as a parent, as an employee, as a boss, as an owner.
Yes.
That's why we're creating
Yeah.
this. So we're going from helping businesses now to going one-on-ones.
Right, which is so. I mean, I just think it's so interesting that that's how it launched, and then you got to business, and now we're going back. Yeah.
So
So-
no, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was gonna say also. I think one of the things is creating some exclusive content.
Oh yeah,
You know,
definitely.
for them. I think that we'll have all of this in there, but we'll have some things just for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, just for them, and then I don't want to give away everything that they're going to get, but there's another group setting where they'll have a group where they can contact each other or talk to each other one-on-one, but also encourage each other throughout the week. So that'll be good. But yeah, that's it.
I love it.
The 6 pillars of Made4More are here to help people one-on-one coaching. But do not turn this off yet, because we have some major announcements. 10,000 episodes.
Yeah.
We hit 10,000 freaking
That's-
episodes.
10,000 downloads.
Downloads. I mean, not.
Gosh, 10,000 episodes.
10,000 downloads. So thank you guys
I feel
for.
like 85.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening and supporting and sharing and downloading and freaking rating our
Yeah.
podcast.
So one more thing about this.
Here we go. Go ahead.
No, I just think that it's one of those things that if you've listened and maybe you're not even in the place where you're like, I think I want to do that for myself. But if somebody came to your mind, like share this with them.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, because everybody has a friend in their life who is that like, I'm gonna grow. I want to, I have more potential. Like you
Yep.
see all of that in people. Share this episode with them.
Yeah,
You know.
and it's along those lines, Adina. We are, I think, within the next year, I'm thinking long term, Made4More. It's going to become more of a community, like not just businesses and one-on-ones, but when everyone gets together that we've helped, you get to learn from
Which
one
is
another.
why we want to do the live podcast where we can have something where we can all come together.
Everybody that's been on the podcast.
Yeah, everybody
Pretty
that's listened. I mean, I'm like, everyone's going to be invited. You won't have to buy a ticket, but everyone will be invited.
I'm learning as we go, so that's awesome.
So
So 10,000 episodes. I just want to say thank you. We want to say thank you. Continue to help us there and share the podcast.
yes.
And then we got our next book.
Oh, I don't have it with me. Dare to lead.
I don't have it either. Dare to Lead. Just look up Dare to Lead. I don't know. who
Brene
it's by.
Brown.
Okay. Dare to Lead, just because I heard it was really challenging, and I started it, and then I set it down because I picked up a different book. So Dare to Lead is what we're going to start discussing on episode 91. We'll look at how we're going to break that up. So Dare to Lead, and then is that it?
That's it. Don't
So-
forget you can register.
Yeah, don't forget to register. Go on our website, check it out. You're going to be looking for a form that talks about Made4More one-on-one coaching. If you have any questions, email us at info@made4moreconsulting.com. Thank you for listening. And I'm also going to ask Etiana this week to see if we can put out a new shirt. She's had them all. I'm ready to release a new shirt. So we'll have pre-order ready as well this week. I'll say Thursday.
Then I can't wait for
Pre-order.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
guys, new shirt, one-on-one coaching, 10,000 episodes. Get Dare to Lead.
Downloads, 10,000
Son of a
downloads.
beach. Download. 10,000 downloads. I said
God,
beach. If y'all want to hear Etiana and Dina cuss before the podcast,
Go to
Go check
YouTube.
out YouTube.
Go check out
But
YouTube.
anyways, thank you guys for listening, and remember, we exist for more. Whoa, did I say that right? Remember, we exist for more.
We're here to offer more.
Every one of us is. No, we're not. I didn't. Oh my gosh, how can I forget? Look at
We're
this.
here.
Oh my gosh.
We exist for more. We're here to offer more. Don't ever give up.
Every single one of us
what
is
is
made
made
for
for
more. We'll talk to you guys later. How did I forget that? Son of a gun! It just left my head.
Well, I'm trying to
Remember,
tell
we
you, you're like,
exist for more. We're here
no.
to offer more. Don't ever give up. Every
Every
single
single
one.
one of us is
Right,
made
we're
for
gonna tell
more.
every week.
All right,
Bye.
YouTube. Take care. It's not. I can't record. I can't stop recording.
Good heavens, that
Yes,
was
you
a big
can.
jump.
Push past it.
Oh.
Push the button.
Talk to you guys later.
Okay, yeah.